difference of skin. But the game been rigged from beginning to end. Forced assimilation been trying to blend, but in the capitalist society, it's more enemies than friends. Spiritually impoverished, how the people gon' win? Overseer in the pulpit, pointing out sin. Sleep getting herded like sheep while the rich wallow in pig pits. Stacking poor people like casino chips, collecting them dividends. But the game ain't over. Third eye open, standing here sober on the four-leaf clover. Breathing over, I got bars, but I ain't over. Neither am I chilling on the sofa, letting life pass me by. I'm putting myself out there, co-creating a vibe, growing the tribe, ready to be free of the hive. The ones that don't value our lives, even when we submit to the lies. If we want real democracy, we gotta cut the ties, cut the ties. Oh, if we want real democracy, we gotta cut the ties before this is hope's demise. They try to label us and lock us in, diminishing our connection over difference of skin. They try to label us and lock us in, diminishing our connection over difference of skin. But we rise, we fall together through it all. We rise, we fall together through it. Join me in the circle together in the circle. Walk with me in this circle, circle of life, circle of life. Infinitely in this circle, heal with me in this circle. Let's just be in this circle, circle of life, circle of life. Love me in this circle. Praises be in this circle. We are free in this circle, circle of life. Whoa. Circle of life. Hey everybody. So, I want to talk about or Prodigy, Purple Prodigy. So I want to talk today about a few things that have been on my mind, about a few things that I have been processing and feeling. Just listening to the Shannon Sharp situation, and what people saying about Michelle Obama, and just everything that's just going on, everything that's going on with the tariffs, and China ghosting America. It's just been a lot that's been heavy on my mind, psychically, just feeling a lot of this psychically, not so much of fear for myself, because as I say all the time, it's well with my soul. Like, I feel like, where I'm at right now is just in this land yap season where I'm just like doing my best to be still and know, and to keep my peace, and like I call things out when I feel the need to call things out, because I'm in a phase in my life, I'm in a phase in this incarnation where I don't want to play pretend. I don't want to feel like I'm performing. Like, if it's just not legit there, it's not there. If it's not there for us, it's not there for us. And I don't want to perform. I don't want to perform, because that just means you got to perform more. Like, because you had to perform to get where you are, and now people expecting you to perform more. Like, I'm not interested in being around people, not interested in being in situations. I'm not interested in being in environments where I feel like I have to perform. Now, if I'm enjoying myself, if I'm in the moment, if I'm having a good time, then yes, if it's authentic, if that's legit how I feel, I'm happy. But I don't want to perform out of obligation. I don't want to feel that, I owe it to someone because I don't owe that. I don't owe anyone a performance. A man, a woman. I can remember when I went to Black Trans Advocacy, the first time I went to Black Trans Advocacy, I I performed, and it was because I wanted people to see me. I wanted people to see my gifts. I wanted people to know that I was talented. And I think it's because you come up as trans, you come up as black, navigating being positive, being from the South, and you often feel like you're not enough. You often feel like you're unworthy. You often feel like, and so you just feel like you're unworthy. At least that was my experience. And when I was at Black Trans Advocacy, this was a place where I felt like I could be seen and I could be heard. And so I was eager to prove to them that I had value and I had talents and I had worth and I had gifts. And and I went to the conference again, and I think I performed a second time when I went. But the last time that I went, I didn't perform. I didn't feel like it. I didn't want to. I didn't have a desire to. And that was years ago. And I think that was when I started to awaken to this idea that even if it is your so-called people, even if it is your so-called tribe, even if it is your so-called community, you don't owe anyone a performance. Like, you don't owe a performance. And for so many of us as melanated people, as black people, as people who live on the fringes and the boundaries of society, we often feel like we owe a performance because we've gotten used to performing, which they call code switching. We've gotten used to performing for mixed company. We're used to switching up our words, and they call it professionalism, profonialism. We'll switch up our words, we'll switch up our dialect, we'll behave a certain way because we want to be accepted, we want to be the pick me, we want to be the chosen one. There's a lot of this language going around here too lately. Black people saying we're the chosen one. Chosen one is giving me real pick me energy. It seemed like a spiritual way to say you're a spiritual pick me. Because we got some spiritual pick me's out here in these streets. Somebody put spiritual pick me in the chat. The chosen one. A spiritual pick me. Okay? So I'm doing a lot of like soul searching, and it's just the pick me energy. The pick me energy is even transcending into the spirit realm. Like, y'all even getting spiritual with the pick me energy. Chosen for what? I'm not denying magic. I'm not denying power. I'm not denying gifts. I'm not denying this melanin has power. I'm not denying that we have gifts. I'm not denying that we have a purpose. I'm not denying any of that. But when we start talking about the chosen ones, my mind goes to chosen for what? What they taught us in school: who, what, when, where, and why. When you're trying to solve a problem, when you're trying to figure out something, you ask who, what, when, where, and why. And so my question is, why are we concocting these narratives that pit us against others automatically? Like, if somebody can't work with you, that's their choice. That's for them to deal with. But I don't need to create an adversary because it's beings who are automatically turned off by my light. It's beings who are automatically triggered by my light. It's beings who automatically can't take me. So you have to excuse me if I don't jump in and want to create a character not to like me. If I don't, you have to excuse me if I don't want to jump in and create my adversary. You have to excuse me if I don't want to jump in and create and script and write out the villain in my story. Because I know that there's always going to be, with so much diversity and with so many people, with so many different souls and spirits existing, there's always going to be adversity. There's always going to be what feels like betrayal. So I don't need to literally script my villain. I don't need to feed myself stories about my villain. I don't need to feed myself stories about my enemy or my adversary, because it's just a part of growing. It's just a part of expanding. It's a part of evolution. So I was watching a video where somebody was talking about Shannon Sharp and saying that Shannon Sharp doesn't like women. And what that brought me to is this conversation about protect black women. Like for some reason, black women are a lot of the ones who are chiming in on what's happened to Shannon Sharp, even though the thing that happened with Shannon Sharp did not happen with a black woman. It happened with a white woman. But a lot of black women are being vocal about what happened with Shannon Sharp. And so that got me to thinking, and like I started getting downloads, and I started thinking about the very first betrayal. Because we often focus on the black people who betrayed other black people to partner with Caucasians or Negro people or indigenous people. We often think about that betrayal. We often think about the deeply melanated people who betrayed their other tribes and their other family members to co-create the American dream, to play a role in the American dream. We often think about that betrayal. We often think about the ops, and we say all skin folk ain't kin folk, but we never really think about the first betrayal. And the first betrayal was not one of men betraying one another, because by this time it's a patriarchal society, and so there are black males or Negro males, indigenous males who are betraying each other to participate in this white supremacist colonial idea. And so this is the second betrayal. And when I think about the first betrayal for when this was a matriarchal society, I think about that there must have been some beings. I don't know if they were hermaphroditic. I don't know if they were intersexed. I don't know if they were female bodied. I don't know. But I think that they were beings who had, the female form. And I think that there was a betrayal of other beings who had the female form and were connected to the divine feminine. And I think there was a betrayal because some of those beings wanted a different reality. They wanted a different dream. They wanted a different society. They wanted they wanted a different dimension. They wanted to expand. And so there was a betrayal. And so when I think about this betrayal, I think about why a lot of men in this reality don't like women. And I think that it's something encrypted in their DNA that makes them not like women, men, because we have to speak within the construct so that halflings can follow. Why men, the manifestation, does not like the womb manifestation. And what makes them say things like calling Michelle Obama a man, and we could get into, I feel like the reason why I said what I said about China and the tariffs is because it's amazing how we always have these things going on spiritually amongst us, as deeply melanated people. Like, we always get sidetracked by these things, like Michelle Obama and Beyonce mama doing the line dance and where them fans at, and line dancing and boots on the ground, while China is literally ghosting America. And so I just feel like this interesting how we're being entertained by the elites while the shelves are about to be bare because our baby daddy China is basically ghosting us. And so China said, we not sending them child support checks no more. China pretty much said, you gonna have to handle this on your own. We ain't sending them child support checks no more. You got it from here. We ain't sending them more child support checks. So I want to talk about. So I was inspired to write, and I'm still working on it. But I want to write something, and this was inspired by me. Like, this was like this is inspired by me. But after I finish reading, thank you for the people who thumbs up. Thank you for the comments. I really want to stay focused. I'll read them afterwards. But this is inspired by me. I have been going through a lot, like emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and I've just been feeling a lot. That's why I haven't been going live as much. I've been very emotional. I just been going through a lot. But today, I got out. I went. I sat in the sun. I wrote a little bit, and I wanted to think of a way to talk about how I feel about a creative way to talk about how I feel about this whole, protect black women and the Shannon Sharp, the Shannon Sharps of the world not liking women, and to really, really just kind of to get into that in a creative way, like to take a creative way to look at this and to really, really explore this from a space of nuance. So, this story is not developed yet. This is really pretty much just the introduction, but it is about a being. Hold on one second. So the being is called Infantara. Now, if you notice here, looking closely at this image, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sides. Wait, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the being has 8 sides. It is an 8-sided being, okay? It's an 8-sided being. But it has the purpleness, which represents the wholeness, and there's a nuance to this piece. Like, I wanted you to be able to get a visual, which I wish I had this in my phone so I could have it behind me while I was talking. Maybe I'll do that next time. But anyway, that's an eight-sided being. So there were eight sides of them: her, they, she, we, that split. The first side was Nympha. Nympha was carnal, filled with passion, lust, very tempting, alluring, cunning, charming, inviting, but aggressive, hunted like a snake, devouring their prey, lying and waiting. The second side of the piece, the second side of the being was Roberta. Roberta was submissive, patient, forgiving, willing to sacrifice and suffer, take a backseat to serve both that entered and exited them. Always willing to serve others, humbly accept diminishment if it in turn exalts the beings that they love or treasure. The third part of this being is Cora, because Cora likes to be centered. Cora is ambitious, a dreamer, materialistic, a visionary, motivated to build, willing to conform, more demanding than nurturing, more entitled than humble, prizes control over thoughtful consideration, feels their way is best and accurate and the safest, has a need to feel protected and centered even when Cora's actions are questionable. Abundance is the fourth side. Abundance is extremely fertile, using this as leverage to advance their cause, creating offspring for the purpose of loyalty as service to the energy and the entities that the fertile being has aligned themselves to. The ability to produce offspring is seen as their greatest purpose, and what they produce they prize and treat like trophies of their accomplishments. The fifth side is Nomanda, a free spirit, loves nature, outside calls. The matrix feels claustrophobic to this being at times. They're clairvoyant, intuitive, hearing things over the loud vibrations and the corrupt frequencies of chaos that ravage society. This being sees through the cracks of the dream sequence, the illusions, and longs for the peace that exists in balance and wholeness. This is why they engage to reach that place. They never wanted the split. The Baroness, empty but not soulless, hungers but it's not for physical nourishment. They need food, but not what we call soul food, but something to feed their actual soul. This being is wise because they're more of an introvert. Since physical offspring never came from within them, they often go within themselves. They are a seer of things. It is believed that their offspring that was never birthed guides the Baroness from other realms, and sometimes the Baroness hears them calling to rejoin them in the other realm. The seventh side of this being is Scarlet. Scarlet is fearful, spirit closed off, soul dormant and inactive, guided by idols and prophets, constantly under the influence of conscious altering elements that have led to inner pollution. Because of this, they don't trust and see most as inherent opposition. They are often at war and ready for war. The eighth piece is Gadisha. Gadisha is super conscious, often tired because Gadisha travels between realms, needing lots of rest because the other seven halves of themselves are off having various dream sequences. Gadisha checks on all of them, projecting to them through technology and dreams, and sometimes even physically manifesting. The split was necessary, though it could not happen without some aspects of us feeling as though it was a betrayal. Gadisha is trying to get all of the pieces of themselves to reemerge and charter a new path, a dream that will last 1,000 years. As a collective again, fully connected, but first, all 8 segments must heal and reconnect so that the ninth sibling, the young son, SUN, who wandered off during the split, can return. They are the youngest because of the split. Because they split before they turned 1,000 years old, they are stuck in a season of destruction and chaos. So because the split happened before the youngest being turned 1,000 years old, the being is not able to evolve. The being is not able to grow because they split before the being became 1,000 years old. So this being is stuck as a child. Sound familiar? They're in an era of destruction and chaos, and also replicating that frequency and energy in countless variables and manifestations through codes, signs, symbols, and programming. All 8 of the siblings segments must come back together. This is the only way to bring 9 home to evolve. And so the key, which is 1, and 0, which is the door, which is 10, they have to become 1, which is the phallic, 0, which is the yoni. These are the shapes that the siblings took. They divided the 9 divided and became the phallic and the yoni. So the first divide of the 9 was to become the 1, which is the phallic, and the 0, which is the yoni. They put the 1 through the 0 and they used it as a key to open a door so that they can continue to divide. Now, what Gadisha wants to do is to put the door and the key back together to create 9 so that the 9th segment of themselves can evolve so that we can vision a different reality. So I think writing this for me, creating so that they can so that it's no longer the key in the door, the 10, but it's the 9 again. And they're now creating and visiting realms that are not binary, and they're evidently more interconnected. So So basically, I this was healing to write this because I see myself in all of the beings. I see myself in Nympha. I see the passion, the lust, the temptation, being aggressive. Um, I see that the cunning, the charm. I see myself in Nympha. I see myself in Roberta, which means um rebirth her. So I spelled it RIB, which is like rib. So rib birth her. Like she is the one that believes psychosisly that she came, or they believe that they came from a masculine being's rib. They believe that they came from a father's rib. So rib birthed her. That's the name. Rib birthed her. And nymph is like nymphomaniac. So nympha is nymphomaniac. Rib Bertha is the one that believes that she came from a man's rib constantly. That's that subservient, humble. I'ma sacrifice for y'all. I'ma take a back seat. I'ma look throw it away as long as my offspring together. I'm gonna suffer. I'm gonna do what I gotta do to make ends meet for my family. It ain't about me, it's about my offspring. Like, that's Roberta. So Roberta, like, dims her, reduces herself, and when Roberta was a part of the eight, it balanced out. But now Roberta is just being that archetype, just being that being without balance. So it's just a bunch of Roberta's energy in this in being matriculated into society. It's a bunch of Nympha's energy being matriculated into society. And Nympha is the sexually active one, and a lot of men are judging Nympha because they're only seeing one side of Nympha, because Nympha's not whole. They're not Nobody is experiencing this eight, potentially nine dimension being. They're all just getting aspects. And because they're not getting all of the aspects, because they're not seeing everything, a lot of these men who have a connection to that feminine soul, to that divine feminine, they're rejecting, they're accepting the programming because it benefits them in a patriarchal society, but spiritually they're at war. Spiritually they're at war, and they don't know why. They can't even explain it. They don't understand. Shannon Sharp doesn't understand why he don't like women, why he don't respect women. But the reason why is because he's only experiencing archetypes of a whole being. And see, the whole being, Infantara, split apart. And so, because they're not seeing all of the dimensions of the being, they're only seeing certain aspects of the being, they're not respecting the being because they don't see the being as whole. They see the being as inferior, not realizing that this being literally is responsible for everything that exists, because this being started splitting itself apart so that it could create everything that is. So, so Roberta is submissive, patient, willing to sacrifice, willing to suffer. I see myself in that being. Cora. Cora is ambitious. Cora is a dreamer. Cora is a visionary. Cora is materialistic. Cora can be more demanding than nurturing. Cora can be more entitled than humble. Now, I don't resonate the most with Cora, but I definitely can relate to Cora. Because I am ambitious to a certain degree. I am a dreamer. I am a visionary. I can have materialistic moments. I can pretend to conform when it's convenient for me. And I do have a need to be protected and centered, if I'm being honest. That's something that I gravitate to, but lately I'm becoming triggered by abundance. Okay, obviously I've never been able to physically birth children into this reality, but because I'm such a creative, I see my art as my offspring. I have a lot of spiritual chosen children, and so I'm spiritually fertile. So it's not a great leap to imagine what it's like to be physically fertile. I'm spiritually extremely fertile, and so because I'm so spiritually fertile, I can picture how someone maneuvers who is physically fertile and physically able to create offspring and use their offspring as leverage. Like literally, I've been able to sell my art. Doors have opened for me because of my poetry, because of my paintings. I've been able to create opportunities for myself because of things that I created. And so there are beings who are born with physical wombs who use their creations to benefit them, who use their creations as leverage. So I can relate with abundance. I can also relate with abundance. Nomanda. I definitely relate to Nomanda. Nomanda is nature. Outside calls, the matrix feels claustrophobic. I feel like that a lot. Super clairvoyant, super intuitive, hear even over the noise of the everything, the hustle and bustle of society, can see through the cracks. Um Yeah, and I go along with it because I feel like it's a part of the journey. Like this is something that I have to go through to ultimately get where I'm going. Never could have done without the split, but I understand why the split was necessary. For to learn, to grow, to evolve, to even be able to dream a dream or vision a place that can be something that is more inclusive and more conscious and just more like more thoughtful, like to create a more thoughtful space based on what we've learned in observing this dream, these dreams. And so I think that'll be amazing, like when the collective comes back and they download all that together and they use that to create a reality or to open a portal to a dimension that is not plagued with the same type of atrocities that we are experiencing now in this current dimension. So, Baroness, I obviously relate to Baroness because I have not been able to. I was not born into a vehicle. I was not born into a vessel in this particular incarnation that gave me the ability to physically birth offspring. So I definitely relate to Baroness. Empty in the womb, but not soulless. Hungers for something, but it's not the soul food. It's not macaroni and collard greens and smother this and smother that. I'll eat it. I'll eat it. But it's really not the soul food that I crave. I crave um, conversation and communication and dialogue and expression that elevates us, that heals us, that helps us to visualize a reality unlike this one. That is that protects our queer and our beings who process information differently and gives them the space and the grace to grow and to evolve. And so it's more of a spiritual food for the soul, not necessarily collard greens and cornbread. Um, yeah, I definitely relate to barrenness because barrenness goes within. Barrenness is an introvert. That's definitely me. Definitely, I definitely connect with barrenness. Scarlet. Scarlet is fearful. I can relate to having fear. Scarlet soul is inactive. Scarlet soul is dormant. And although I don't feel like my soul is inactive, I don't feel like everything that needs to wake up in me has awoken in me. You know, it is a constant journey to overcome the fear that will allow me to fully awaken my soul, that will allow me to fully resurrect my soul, that will allow me to fully resurrect all that is within me. So while I don't feel like my soul is dormant or inactive, I am not so vain or so narcissistic that I feel like I am fully awakened. You know, that I am fully I don't even know if I can handle all of it in this physical form. You know, I don't even know if my body could hold the entire awakening. So, yeah, I don't feel like that, but you know, I do have trust issues, and you know, I do see opposition. And when I talk about under the influence of things that alter the consciousness of the mind, this is not just marijuana, this is not just alcohol, this is food, this is having intimate relationships, this is having one night stands, this is anything that alters you, anything that alters you, like any outside force, any outside entity that alters your flow of consciousness, your natural flow of thought, anything that interferes with that, where it could be a cheeseburger, a soda, it could be a cold drink, it could be a bump, it could be some weed, it could be something greasy and fried. Anything that alters, because sometimes things will make you lazy, they'll make you tired, they'll make you want to lay down, take your energy from you because it's not a balanced meal. And so anything that alters your consciousness, comfort food is something that alters your consciousness. Um, 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 Guided by idols like celebrities and politicians and prophets, like catering to patriarchy and catering to society. Like, I've been there before. I've been scarlet, and as a result, the pollution, living with, you know, now what I call the nothingness, HIV, is the pollution. You know what I'm saying? So being polluted, being fearful, being ready for war, being at war, because I'm at war with myself. Because I'm at war with myself. And so Scarlet is, I definitely relate to Scarlet too. Gadisha. Gadisha is like, Gadisha is like the me that comes, but the me that won't stay. Like gives me Gadisha gives me messages that gives me hope. I think the art comes from Gadisha. I think I think a lot of things come from Gadisha, but Gadisha won't stay. Like, Gadisha is not comfortable in this dimension. Gadisha knows that this dimension is toxic. Gadisha knows that this, but Gadisha loves her siblings so much, or loves their siblings so much, that Gadisha will come and dwell. Like, Gadisha will come in the avatar for a few seconds, but Gadisha is less flesh and Gadisha is more spirit. So Gadisha comes, and Gadisha is more of a possession energy. Gadisha possesses. She's like, no, I'm not taking no avatar. Like, I'm not finna be walking in the flesh. Like, I don't want a body. Like, but I will come and use a body to remind and to speak to my siblings and to speak to my siblings. But Gadisha is like, I'ma check in. Gadisha, like, I'ma come through. I'ma make sure, like, hey, look, I miss y'all. I love y'all. Will y'all come home? Like, Gadisha is not necessarily flesh, but Gadisha can take on flesh. Gadisha can take on flesh. And Gadisha will use those opportunities to speak to beings that Gadisha connects with. So God, because understand that all of these archetypes are spread out in different people all over. Like Cora has built up her own tribe here. Roberta has built up her own tribe here. Nomanda has built up her own tribe or their own tribe, because you could say her or they. They've all of these archetypes have built up their own tribe. The only one who has not really built up a tribe here is Gadisha, because Gadisha does not fully take a body. Gadisha will use a body, but Gadisha has not taken a body specifically for themselves. The rest of them have. They've not only taken a body, but they've taken other people's bodies as well. So Gadisha is mostly tired. So Gadisha sleeps a lot. So Gadisha is in other realms. She got to get away from here. So when it looks like the person is tired, Gadisha may not come into the body and be active. Gadisha may not come into the body and be active. Gadisha may come into your body and you may just go to sleep. Like, you may just be resting, because that is when you're going to a realm where Gadisha can speak to you through the spirit realm. So Gadisha will speak to you through the spirit realm, and Gadisha will put you to sleep. But Gadisha is tired because Gadisha does a lot of time traveling, and Gadisha moves between realms. So Gadisha's not always here. But Gadisha understands that Gadisha gotta bring all of them together. And so how I think Gadisha would go best about bringing them together is to align with the energies that seem already connected. Like Nomanda seemed like Nomanda would be one that would be already willing to align with her. So I think she could get Nomanda to come back pretty easily. Scarlet, it's gonna be some work with Scarlet. I think Baroness might, I don't know, Abundance might be getting her life. Nympha might be getting her life, getting a life. Roberta might be getting, I don't know, Roberta might be tired now. Roberta might be, child, I'm tired of being these people doormat. So Roberta might be ready. Cora seemed like Cora living her best life in the Matrix. Cora and Abundance, I don't know. But I think Gadisha could get to Roberta, Baroness, and Nomanda. I think that they could get to them. Because then once that happens, if they could get all of them to come together, because then Roberta might be able to connect, because see, Roberta and Nymph, like, they might be able to get to Cora, and they might be able to get to Abundance. Like, if Roberta and Nymph, because they've really been having experiences in this realm. So I think Roberta and Nymph might be able to get to because they seem like they would be invested in this reality. I think those archetypes would be able to get to Cora and Abundance. If we could get Cora and Abundance, If we could get Korra in abundance, then it would seem like the pieces will all be able to come back together. All of those tribes would be able to come back together, create the eight-sided being, and then those beings would be able to call to the ninth being. And the ninth being will come out of hiding, and the ninth being will come home, because the whole mother, the whole divine feminine would be back together and would be strong enough to call out to the son. And the son would come home, and the son would be able to evolve during this next 1,000-year dream sequence. And the reality, the dimension, the portals, what we could accomplish, what we could achieve. So yeah, so like looking at everything that's going on in the world, and understanding that a lot of this is coming from the divide of the divine feminine aspect, the divide, how it's been compartmentalized, and how that original divide must have felt like a betrayal. And that betrayal, out of the ones that I think the betrayal hurt the most, I think the betrayal hurt Scarlet. And what you have to understand, that in all of these archetypes, you can see beings who are born with penises in these archetypes as well. Because this is about wholeness. That's why I call the being she and they. Because there are beings who can connect, who were not born with wombs, inside of this divine feminine aspect. And so Scarlet, you could see, there are males who can relate to Scarlet. There are males who can relate to Korra. There are males who can relate to abundance, because they done made a lot of children. They done sowed a lot of seed. There are males who can relate to Nymph. There are males who are simps, who are henpecked simps, who can relate to Roberta. So a lot of them, because that is literally the being that didn't get a chance to evolve because of the split. So when we think of the being that didn't get a chance to evolve, we think about the male, and we also think about lesser melanated beings. And so the ninth being would be lesser melanated beings, and also beings who were born male and resonate more with maleness. And so that aspect didn't get a chance to finish fully developing, because as soon as these beings were created, these siblings got aggravated and split. These siblings, not all of them wanted to split. Gadisha didn't want to split. Nomanda didn't want to split. Baroness was looking for something to feel. Like Baroness wasn't understanding the emptiness. So Baroness was on a journey to learn to feel themselves. Nymph wanted to live. Nymph wanted to feel. Nymph wanted to be in a body and have and feel. I think for Korra, it was like Korra always felt like it was about Gadisha. Korra may have felt like Korra was in Gadisha's shadow, and so Korra wanted a reality where Korra could be centered. Korra wanted it to be about her. Korra wanted it to be about them. And when they were all together, for some reason, Korra just felt the way like Gadisha was still in their thunder. So Baroness was in a search for something Gadisha, you know what I'm saying, was happy, of course, and Roberta always needed to be reaffirmed. Roberta needed encouragement. Roberta needed all of them to kind of like Roberta needed to feed off of their energy. And so when the split happened, Roberta went looking for because Roberta is used to family. Roberta is used to Cora. Roberta is used to Nomanda. Roberta is used to Gadisha. Roberta is used to all of the siblings being together. And that made Roberta happy. And so when that was no longer there, Roberta went looking for that. And Roberta found a hell of a need in this reality. So all of the siblings have their reasons for dividing. They all have their reasons for why they went on this journey. But now it's time for the siblings to come back so that they can reunite and they can help to evolve the other aspects of themselves. If any of that is making sense. Okay, I'm finna read some of the comments now. Oh, all of y'all, I see Fatima and 100% pure love. Join me in the circle, okay? T.S. Shannon Sharp needs to come out the closet and let God Goddess to Lulu ain't the Sululu anymore. We gotta be authentic and honest with ourselves about perception. Forced performance is deeply irrational. I have retired my tap dancing shoes. Hey, okay. How you doing, mamas? Hey, goddess. We feel obligated to force perform to keep it normal or keep the peace so we won't be judged. Like, fuck out of here. Exactly. Spiritual pick me. Exactly. Spiritual pick me. They want to be the colonial halfling chosen ones. TS chosen to get sold to the highest bidder. Get chosen to be in the brotherhood. Get chosen to be celebrated in the patriarchy. It's that gotta be one and nobody else. Um, Survival mentality. Yeah. And that's the type of shit that, I love contests, but I have to be honest, like TV shows like RuPaul Drag Races and Tyra gotta be on top. There can only be one. Like that culture has really done so much damage to people that are tribal and rooted in meaningful connections like that it's really pretty much just like a PC polite way of getting us ready for Hunger Games and to be pitted against each other. So I never was able. I watched America's Next Top Model because Isis was introduced to us on there, and I did live for that. So I did get into more of America's Top Model, but I don't watch RuPaul Drag Races simply because, just the idea of there can only be one. Like, mm, mm-hmm. T.S. Rat Race. Hey, mother. Hey, Anandia. Yes, Fatima, I love you too. Clocked in just in time. My girls are here. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Yes, Purple Hearts. The betrayal was erasing and forcing the purple print beings to submit to the punk simulation. Right. And it's a result of the split. And so a lot of these feelings that are being harbored towards black women, deeply melanated women, are ancient. They are ancient because, and this is the thing, what triggers me when, because I understand protect black women. You know, I have sisters, I have a mama, I have aunties, I understand that. But can there be some accountability for what has been created? Because let's not pretend like this is all there is or this is all it could ever be. Like, can it be? Can some of y'all be accountable? Can we get some of y'all to be accountable? Because this blindly supporting and this blind protection and having no accountability, it's not what's up. It's not what's up. It's not what's up. It's not what's up. And unfortunately, the download that I've been getting a lot lately is there's gonna have to be energy is gonna have to transition. Like energy is gonna have to matriculate into other dimensions for the divine feminine to regain its strength. And I've been following Ruthless. And I want to say this about Ruthless. I definitely didn't like the stuff that was going on in that cult. A lot of things. I didn't like him raping I didn't like him raping the young boys anally. I didn't like, the punishment trailer, gouging people eyes out, wanting people to drink poison. I didn't like any of that. But let me tell you what I will say. We are so brainwashed in this reality that if there's 1,000 people and they're not being drugged, they're not being brainwashed, they're not, because let's be clear, America brainwashes the soldiers before they go to war. It's brainwashing. This is your country. You love your country. You blah, blah, blah. All of that boot camp ain't nothing but brainwashing. So when you have soldiers that you have that will go off and die for this country, you say that's okay. That's not a cult. That's okay because that's America. That's our country. But when people start up communities and they all of them have agreed that they don't want to be in this reality anymore. They have, of clear and sound mind, made a decision that they don't want to live here anymore. They don't want to physically be here anymore. If they are not being forced, and this is all a collective decision, then you can't turn you can't turn it into, oh, all these people were unalived or all of these people were, no, this was a collective decision that these beings made. They said, okay, it's something else out there. We want to go and find it together. We're rejoining each other. We want to go on this place. This is one of the reasons why I have thoughts about like thinking about unaliving people, like being in a situation where I had to unalive someone. Like my first thought about unaliving someone is, if we were unalived at the same time, would we travel to the next place together? Like that's a valid question. Like, if I unalive someone in a battle or a war, would we go to the same place together? So I think that same theory would apply if, like say for example, if you break into someone's home and you unalive their mother and their father, and I saw in this movie they was like, well, don't just because he was getting ready to sell the child into sex trafficking industry. And the mama was like, no, just unalive both of us, like, so we could be together. And so if thousands of people decide that they want to be together, how can you paint it as, oh, they was crazy, something was wrong with them, or oh, they were brainwashed, or like, why would you paint that picture? Like, to me, that doesn't make sense. Now, if there are things going on where people are being, where children are being touched, where children are being programmed to do, violent acts, where people are being raped, where people are being unalived violently, where people are being tortured violently, then this is a whole different scenario because people aren't giving consent. People are being oppressed, and it's kind of like the reality that we live in now. So a lot of things are justified in Ruthless because it's just a mini model of the reality that many of us live in now. But if people went on a spiritual journey and you found your tribe and you was like, okay, we ready to open a portal and we finna go here or we finna go there or we finna experience this, and everybody's in alignment and everybody's agreeing, to me that doesn't sound like what we've been taught to paint that picture of, because everybody's not going to get their healing and their reward. It's not going to happen for everybody on this plane. Some parts of it, like, I think if you're working towards your healing, you should see some prosperity, you should see some joy, you should see some happiness. But for all of us, it's not going to all happen here. It's not gonna, like there's gonna have to be some other side. Like, it's not gonna all happen here. As sure as there's a spiritual realm and there's a physical realm, as sure as there's a material realm and there's a energy or frequency realm, everything's not gonna happen in the physical. And so there has to be beings who understand that. There, like when the opportunity happens, there have to be beings who understand that. There are some beings who are not meant to take that journey, take that trip, and nobody should feel forced. Nobody should feel coerced, but nobody should fumble the ball either out of fear. Because I've seen this in a lot of, like, anime cartoons and stuff. Like, when I watch, like, a lot of people, that's when they tap into their most powerful self, when they physically leave their earth vessel. When they leave that physical vessel, that's when you see that in you saw that in Doctor Strange. There's examples of, like, all of the metahumans, like how all of them are created is through, like, some type of death simulation, and they overcame death. Even in the Bible, Jesus overcame death, and so there's this, and so it's so crazy because in this society we're taught to fear the very thing that has the potential to evolve us. Like, but it's in everything. Like literally, it's in the story of Jesus. And then when Jesus was resurrected, Jesus was like, I'm finna go to prepare a place for y'all. So I'm leaving again. I'm hitting it again because I don't really F with this dimension like that. But I'm gonna put some things in the work for you though. I'm gonna be interceding and making and making some things pop for you. You know what I'm saying? In another reality, because like, I'm gonna leave that physical shit to y'all. And unfortunately, we're so programmed that a lot of us don't understand that, and we see that as, oh, they unalive themselves, oh, they were so broken, oh, they were so sad, oh, they were so depressed. But we sit up here and watch all of these TV shows. Like, I was just watching Catwoman the other day. How Catwoman's journey began was through leaving her physical avatar, and then she was resurrected into that avatar. I'm not really a fan of that, but that's cute for you. And I think that's what happened to the girl who have, like, the little bat, Holly, the one who the little clown girl who date Joker. Yeah. But yeah, I think that we live in a cult already. And so yeah, like it's just to me like there's America is a big cult and it's a whole bunch of micro cults in American culture. And it just seems selfish for us to live in a culture that grooms people to be willing to risk their lives, and y'all call it patriotism and y'all call them heroes. But then when a subset group decides that they want to do something for themselves that's not about America, y'all say, oh, they was brainwashed, they was crazy. I'm not gonna go too much into that, but I just like I've been watching Ruthless, and it just been I just been because I want to play the whole tape, because you always hear the FBI, he's gonna kill 600 people. Now in there, I feel like that's a different scenario, because those people are being drugged, those people are scared. Those people didn't want to drink that tea. Like when he was making them drink it, those people did not want to drink that. And then it's crazy. Like you telling them to drink it and you ain't drank it yet. Like, if we going together. I'm not gonna go after you. I'm not gonna unalive y'all and then go. Like, no, if we going, we all going together. So I didn't understand it. And that was my problem with the whole Jesus narrative, because when Jesus was suffering on that cross and y'all claim y'all loved him so much, how come y'all didn't ride? Like, it should have been a whole bunch of more riding with Jesus. Like, I wasn't really understanding that. I wasn't really understanding that. All of them crying and following, and like, that part just didn't sit right with me. That's why when people be talking about how much they love Jesus, I'm like, y'all are the seeds of the same people that watched him down that cross and didn't do nothing. So Christianity has just been rotting on the vine ever since then. T.S. China, the left us on red. Exactly. China said juices. Ain't no more child support payments. I like Nomanda. You like Nomanda? And nomanda comes from nomadic. Nomadic people like to move from place to place. So that's why I named her Nomanda, which also gave, she don't center no men. Like, she don't center men. But she's nomadic. That's why that being's name was nomadic. This is absolutely beautiful. This is thoroughly deep and amazing. I heard someone say the other day, if a, if a shadow is you in a two-dimensional plane, then is the image avatar a project, another shadow of a higher fourth dimensional self. Wow. So basically, we are the shadow of a higher self. Come on now. All right, Fatima. Having CPTSD, you literally get to experience the singularity, our real time, to be forced to observe and time travel backwards and forwards, but to also see all of the potentialities of self. I hope that makes sense. Um, it's happening to me now. Like, it wouldn't have made sense to me last year, but it's happening to me now because I'm literally seeing, like, it's like a lot of times it feels like I'm in my body, but it also feels like I'm outside of my body experiencing me. Like I like and I think me being so visible content wise and putting so much content out, I have a chance to observe myself a lot. Like, I go over my content because I want to make sure I meant what I said. I try to pause in between words. I try not to talk too fast because I really want to be intentional about what I'm saying. But being able to project technologically, like through technology, that has helped me to be able to see different aspects of myself. And also when different beings are different aspects are taking the lead in my divine feminine self, like in my divine feminine aspect, because the divine feminine is, as I am realizing, at least my divine feminine is eight nine, like eight sided, but there's a ninth side that has not finished developing yet. And so all of these beings are me. I connect with all of the beings. And it's so crazy because lately I've been trying to eat bad. I've been trying to self-medicate so that I wouldn't get downloads, cuz I'm getting so much information at one time. It's overwhelming me and I find myself emotional a lot. Like I'm getting so many. It's like this season that I'm in now. I can't stop the downloads. I can't stop the information. I'm seeing and hearing and feeling everything, and it's a little overwhelming. It's a little overwhelming. I can handle it, but some days I feel like my body is a weight. I feel like my body. I feel like my physical self is a weight, and trying to overcome that, because I know that when it's time, I will know, but I know that it's not time now. But sometimes, if you understand what I'm saying, you understand what I'm saying. But, and so lately here, I've been having more and more things that have been telling me that, like, I've been hearing, to explain it in a way that you could understand. I hear Gadisha. I hear Gadisha calling the pieces back. And is that a physical journey? Is that a spiritual journey? Is that a transition? Is that ascendance? What is that? What does that look like? And I'm in a human body, and I'm having I'm having these conversations, but I hear the Gadisha element of that being calling the pieces back. And for me, it's saying a whole lot of things. It's saying a whole lot of things. And with everything, the matrix is collapsing. It is falling apart. It's not going to fall apart tomorrow. It's not going to be completely fell apart tomorrow. And let me tell you something. No matter how this thing continues to deteriorate, beings are being bred to navigate whatever quality of life awaits. They're being bred for it. So there's always going to be people that are going to see this as the best thing since sliced bread. But as you begin to spiritually evolve, and as you begin to spiritually elevate, as the soul begins to elevate, some dimensions you just can't be in, and no parts of you, no parts of your energy, like I think more of me, more of my energy is becoming the Gadisha aspect. And Gadisha, as I said, does not use a body daily. Gadisha will move through, she will pass through, but Gadisha don't do the third dimension like that. Gadisha is not a fan. Gadisha not a fan. Abundance is a fan. Cora is a fan. Nymph is a fan. But Nymph and me is giving up because Nymph is not strong in me anymore. Um, Roberta is not strong in me anymore. Like bowing down, putting everybody ahead of me, letting everybody step all over me. Like those two elements in me are not strong anymore. So, Roberta and Nymph They saying, you know what Gadisha talking about? What Gadisha was talking about? They ready to listen to Gadisha now. But Cora and Abundance still kind of trippy. Barrenness is like, what Gadisha talking about a little bit. Nomanda is like, what Gadisha talking about a little bit. But Cora and Abundance still kind of trippy. So Gadisha still gotta come through and check on Cora and Abundance. So listening to your works, I can completely understand, Mother. It makes perfect sense, Fatima. The many different versions of yourself all merged in one being. Past, present, and future. That's right, Anandia. Come on, Prodigy. Who this is on another frequency. don't have don't have the mental and emotional bandwidth to understand. That's why it ain't that many thumbs up, but it's a lot of people been watching because them numbers have stayed high, so they're trying to understand. They don't know how to feel. That's why the thumbs up have not been rising, but it's definitely a conversation that has a lot of people engaged because I noticed the numbers have kind of stayed high. So a lot of people are feeling and connecting. They just don't really know how they feel about what's being said because you don't. Who's talking like this? What platforms are talking like this? Like, where are you getting this type of food? Where are you getting this type of food for the soul, this type of food for the spirit? So I'm not upset about people not engaging in being like, ooh, thumbs up, I get it. Because that's the whole point of me feeling the way that I feel. Because we are so broken down and we are so divided that we don't a lot of us don't know reality from illusion. And that's why I've never gotten caught up in the I'm a woman, 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 because that's a slippery slope. It's all of it's made up. So I would rather use language that predates that. If you see me as a woman, if you want to call me she or Annie or mama, I'm not gonna fight you on that because I can resonate with that. But I do the work to honor wholeness. I do the work to honor myself as a whole being because I understand that when I get caught up in the mamas and the she's, sometimes I get caught up in the frequency that holds me hostage in this dimension because there's a lot of energy on that mama. There's a lot of energy on that I'm a woman. There's a lot of energy on them she's. People have distorted that and perverted that and corrupted that in a patriarchal society. So that's why I'm always talking about wholeness. That's why that's not my fight. I'm not fighting to be respected as a woman. I'm not fighting to be seen as a woman. That's not my fight. I am fighting to be seen as a whole being. I am fighting to be seen as sovereign and autonomous. And I'm fighting that fight so that when these children come, when these babies get trapped in this matrix, when y'all summon them here through sex magic, where you don't even know yourself, where you don't understand yourself, where you're not prepared, the greatest gift that I could leave those babies is a message of wholeness. That's the greatest gift I could give. My great gift is not birthing a child and not bringing a child here. My great gift is giving a message to these babies where they don't feel like they have to break themselves up or fit into a box. I watch the women around me groom their daughters to be half of who they are. I watch the men around me groom their sons to be half of who they are. I watch these cis people groom their offspring to be half of who they are to fit into a binary society. I watch them start from birth, breaking these children down by colors and grooming them to be half of who they are, and then policing them when they don't live up to the expectation of the halfling that you were grooming them to be. Oh, wait a minute, a little bit too much of your mama is poking out and you got to tuck that in. Oh, wait a minute, too much of your grandma is poking out. Then if they was born with a vagina, oh, wait a minute, too much of your daddy is too much of your grandfather. You look too much like your daddy. We're going to have to go and get that fixed. You're going to have to go have a surgery for that. Oh, you got to change that walk. You got to change that. And it's the very parts of themselves they need to fulfill their spiritual mission, to fulfill their divine mission. But you groom them to only be fit for this matrix, to only be a butler, to only be a maid, to only be a vice president, to only be a token. You groom these beautiful beings to come here and play step and fetch it to beings that haven't even finished evolving. And then so many black women are asking the question, why don't men like me? It's rooted in the original betrayal. The betrayal of yourself. Because the first being that you ever betrayed, mama, was yourself. When you denied parts of yourself in order to thrive in this made up reality. And so that's where the war is coming from. And all of that is getting kicked up now. All of this. And we owe Shannon Sharp deserve, and he getting just what he deserve. Shannon Sharp might be an old fool. But what they say, God watches over babies and fools. And to see so many black women ready to play judge and juror because this man is foolish. Maybe he do want to come out. Maybe a lot of them want to come out. But so many mothers have betrayed themselves. So much of the divine feminine has betrayed herself. There's no safe place for him. So he's hiding. He's hiding because it's not safe. He can't trust mama. And when I see Shannon Sharp with that little white girl, all I see is an old baby and a young baby. Because he's aged, but he has not spiritually evolved. And the reason why a lot of these men are not spiritually evolving goes back to the betrayal of the divine feminine. The divine feminine betraying herself. And I understand the betrayal because it's all about growth. It's all about expansion. It's all about elevation. But when are we going to be accountable? When are we going to have a conversation that requires accountability instead of playing judge and jurors over these halflings that you've continued to breed and cultivate because it benefits you? To have them as workers and protectors. And you don't want workers and protectors to be intelligent. You want them to be dumb enough to follow blindly and not ask too many questions. You want them to be simple. And then when they act simple, you mad at them. Then when they act simple, you wanna be judge and jury and punish them. But isn't this what you groomed them to be? I remember when I was young, and I want you to know that I forgive my auntie for this. I love my auntie. My auntie has protected me. My auntie has my auntie has pulled guns on dudes to protect me when my uncles would not. My auntie taught me how to fight. I love my auntie, but I'm still gonna play the whole tape. I used to love to read when I was little. I used to love to learn words. And my grandma and my auntie told me, my auntie said, you need to be learning how to fight. Books is for sissies. You sound like a sissy. You need to learn how to fight. That's what my auntie told me. And I know I'm not the only one. Now imagine who I would have been if one of the women that I respected most in my life, had not told me that. My grandmother told me, you could be gay, just don't be a woman. Partly because she was worried about the embarrassment that I was going to bring on the family. Because women are not celebrated, obviously. Y'all are looked down upon in the church, in the government. So why would you want to follow in those footsteps? And she knew it was going to make me a target for violence. But imagine if I had been born into a reality where black women, a lot of them didn't hate themselves and didn't see their male offspring resonating more with them as a deficit. Because again, how can you say that the mother is supreme? How can you say that the black woman created everything? How can you say that the black woman is a goddess? How can you say that the black woman is the divine mother and then be mad at your male offspring for wanting to replicate and embody that, for wanting to challenge that? If it is such a beautiful and powerful thing, why are you mad with your male children for trying to evolve? Why are you upset about that? What's the problem? Are you scared it's not gonna be no dick here left for you? You mad ain't no, you think somebody not gonna carry them heavy bags for you? You think you gonna have to get up and go fight for yourself and work? Is that the fear? Who gon' when y'all say who gonna be the boys, what you really mean is who gonna go to war for us? Who gonna do all the work? Who gonna tote the heavy bags? And who gonna take me to Pound Town? Who gonna be my accessory? Who gonna be my tote bag? Who gonna be my security? Who gonna be my entertainment? Who gonna be my pleasure? Let's evolve and see. Cause that's scarlet. That's scarlet fear. That's the Archon Scarlet. That's Scarlet's fear. Cora wanna be centered, and Scarlet is Scarlet's fear. Scarlet is afraid. Scarlet don't trust nobody. And Cora like, bitch, I'm getting my life, bitch. I'm on top here. Cora is very much like Kamala and Beyonce. Cora is that energy. Cora is the Kamala Harrises and the Beyoncés and the Oprah Winfreys. Then you got the ones that birth all the children that bring so many babies here like heifers for the Matrix. Big old families, and the family respect them because they've aligned themselves, and so that's your which one is that? That's abundance. Your Coras, your abundance, your Cora, your abundant, and your Scarlet. Them the ones that I think need them the ones like in me. I feel like Nymph and Roberta, they have begun to heal. The Nymph has healed. Roberta has healed. Um Cora, abundance. Scarlet is healing. Scarlet is healing. Gadisha is your highest self. Gadisha is not permanently here. No. Cora. And the reason why Cora is called Cora is because Cora has to be at the core of everything. Cora wants to be centered. So that's why I named that one Cora. Because Cora wants to be at the core, honey. Cora wants to be centered. Cora. Cora and abundance settled. That's right. Hello, Gemini. I know your birthday is around the corner. Hey, Thursday Lane under mid underdog. Um, a Gemini season is coming. It sure is. Roberta is a fly on the wall. This made too much damn sense. It's connecting. America brainwashed the soldiers to steal, kill, and destroy innocent land and yeah, and thinking they are under attack. Ruthless is a direct condensed mirror of what America and other countries, yeah, do to people. Do to their people. Exactly. Exactly. Like the show Titans, where Starfire, wait, like the show Titans, when Starfire, when she had to unalive herself to resurrect to a new version of herself. So is that the show about the Teen Titans, about the one with superpowers? Ruth have something in the works. She about to light the highest and Obadiah up. Yes, honey, because they took her baby. Girl, I don't think we're gonna see that till next season though. When she found out the news that her daughter, I felt a deep rage and sadness for her. OMG, I felt like the room was spinning for a second. Baby, you felt that, huh? Gotta take time to rest, meditate, and let the downloads marinate because it can be overstimulating and highly overwhelming. That's correct. What's understood doesn't need to be explained. Come on, Fatima. It's like we have to raise our frequency to connect more with Gadisha. Exactly, exactly. And Fatima, you was like, that's why I didn't come live because I was trying to get to a place to where I could talk about it, and I don't want to make it like I'm I'm fear mongering or I'm trying to get people to do something harmful to themselves, simply because I'm experiencing a part of evolution and metamorphosis I don't completely understand. So I do have to take more time to myself because I don't want to get on live and just be saying things because I realize, the power of my words, the power of my energy, and I don't want to, be irresponsible not in this season. Like I can't have nobody, what I'm saying, making a decision to cross the divide because of something I done said. No. So I really be trying to get my thoughts together, get my energy together, so that I could come on here and I could be transparent and I could be honest, but I also can contain my fire and contain my passion and talk in a way that doesn't invoke, any spirit that wasn't there, or invoke someone to feel like I'm not shaming ascension or physical transition of this reality. I'm not shaming it. I'm just saying that I'm not trying to be on here being emotional and being in my feelings because I'm getting so many downloads and I can't handle them. And I done got on here and done said something and this done sparked something in somebody else. So I'm sensitive, I'm present, and I'm aware. So that's what I wanted to say. Um, yeah, it's like we have to connect to more with Gadisha. That's right. Ashe, Cora, and abundance, ignoring Gadisha message. Exactly, because when the nine come back together, the nine is the phallic and the door. The nine is the yoni and the phallic. The nine is just like they curve the nine, but when we write the nine, we always write the straight line and we write the zero. It's the nine is the door and the key becoming one. And when the door and the key become one, they can create within themselves. When they separate, everything that they create has to come out into this dimension. But when the nine come back together, they create within themselves. They create universes within themselves. They can travel within themselves. They can be within themselves. They become a cosmos within themselves when they become one. But when they separated to become the door and the key, everything started coming out, spilling out into the dimension under them. And so there has to be a calling back together. The key and the door have to reunite. They have to become the key and the door. Four of them become the key, four of them become the door. When they come together and become that key and that door and come together, then that is going to bring the baby out of the wilderness. That's going to bring the baby out of hiding. The baby who has been around here wreaking chaos and havoc, honey. That baby, when they all get together, it's gonna be like a beacon. It's gonna be like a siren song. The baby not gonna be able to resist it because it's like that's the whole mama. That's the whole mama. All of them done worked out they beef and they done came together. It's gonna be like a siren call to the baby. The baby not gonna be able to. The baby is not gonna be able to resist it. Right now, while they beefing, one or two can call for the baby, but the baby not coming. Two or three could call for the baby, but the baby not coming. Three or four could call for the baby, but the baby not coming. Five or six could call for the baby, but the baby not coming. See, when all eight become that one and they call for that baby, the baby is coming. we this gonna take time for a lot of people to truly understand, cause child, this cosmic information. Thank you, Anadia, for getting it. Thank you for that. I love your patience and deep understanding, the gift of knowing all of you and not half of you. Whew. Mother, let's be real, it's much more than half. It's much more less than half. It is death. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's a betrayal, and the betrayal has created what's happening in this reality. Like the betrayal has created, like, the mama can't, like, Gadisha is weak because all of the different aspects of herself, like, I felt that earlier today, like, when I tell you I felt it so deep, I started crying. Like, I felt Gadisha calling to me, and Gadisha was like, I don't have the strength to fight because all of the different parts of myself is living their best life in different dream sequences. God, I'm wondering why they saying that the mother is awakening, but the reason why it's taking her so long to awake is because she need energy, and she needs to know what's been happening. And so they need the all of the archons, all of the different aspects of themselves to come back together, so that the energy could be there, the vitality can be there. Because imagine trying to imagine trying to heal and to fight for and defend your babies when all of the different aspects of yourselves are literally a part of the problem. So all of them are not going to come back, but there has to be enough of them that say, you know what, I'm good. It has to be enough of the different archons that go back to the divine feminine, that begin to tap into that and begin to connect with that, so that the being can fully come together, and then we can really start to see a shift. Because I was like, where is the divine feminine? Where is the divine mother? And with all of these conversations that I'm seeing happen cyberly, because I am starting to realize that a lot of beings are echoes. A lot of beings are not real. A lot of beings are programs and figments of our imagination. And this is how I know. Like, the internet teaches you that, because you literally, it be the ones that be having so much to say, and they don't have no digital footprint. You can't find no picture of them nowhere. You can't find no content from them nowhere. And they be having so much negative stuff to say in the comment section. You a whole ghost. You are a whole figment of my, you are a ghost. You are a whisper in the back of my mind taunting me. You are not real. And so, because this we're these pieces, these aspects of the divine mother are fragmented and fighting ghosts, chasing things that are not real, caught up in illusions, caught up in dream sequences, until representation of all of these archons come together The divine mother will not have the strength to move in the way that the divine mother or the divine whole one, the divine mother father, the way that being needs to move. The divine Mada, the divine Dama, the divine Mapa, Pama, mother, father, father, mother. It will not have what it needs to move because it's still waiting on information. It's still waiting on reports. It's still waiting on energy. It's still waiting on vibrations. And so these ancient daughters, these ancient siblings, these ancient children that exist in a lot of our DNA have to stop chasing the illusion and have to start sending energy to the highest self, which I call Gadija, but whatever you call your highest self. Is 5% to only be a product. The war is always inside, holographing and materializing itself in the physical form. He was always hiding in his shell. The divine masculine was never finished developing, right, 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 but was always put in the position of opposition. And because the divine feminine is so at war with itself, it's like a mama going to work all the time and leaving the child at home, latchkey kid. A mama who in the streets chasing men, trying to get high. A mama who put her man before her children because she believed that you cleave to your husband and become one flesh. All of these different archetypes have left this child that has not matured, that has not grown, because that being is not whole. The being who is caring for the child is not whole. The daddy damn sure ain't whole. Like half of the time, the daddy ain't even there. He in jail or he gone. And the divine feminine aspect is chasing success, is chasing ambition, has more responsibility, more offspring than they can handle. So they're bringing beings around the children who they haven't vetted, who is causing more harm to the child. Like as above, so below, as within, so without. And so the collective has to heal, but the collective cannot heal without accountability. All of these demons, these demanifestations, are the result of the split of the divine feminine consciousness. A split that happened before the divine masculine aspect of itself was allowed to evolve. And so the divine masculine aspect has been taking advantage of this opportunity and is around here running amok. Amok, 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 amok. And can you blame him? But he resents the divine feminine for not being there for him. The divine feminine used him. And then say, all right, God is a God of order, not confusion. Ponder that. Repent, pray, and repeat. Um, Lengtha, um, God is a God of order, chaos, and confusion. I don't know who you praying to, but you repeat that if that works for you. But my creator is everything. My creator is confusion, order, chaos. And I understand that all of that confusion, chaos, is just an order that I don't have the range or the capacity to understand. And judging by your comment, you are not even on a frequency to have this conversation with me. You're not even on the right vibration to understand. So you go and do what works for you. Okay? Go do what works for you. But don't come up in here telling me some nursery rhyme scriptures that work for your programming. Because the creator that lives in me, around me, moves through me, baby, chaos, confusion, drama, all of it. And it's literally drama to me, chaos to me, confusion for me, because I am a small fraction of that entity. And so I just don't have the range. And you don't have my range. So go somewhere where you could spew that to someone and it makes sense to them. But you're not going to come up in here with these nursery rhymes. Okay? Bye bye now. Um, the macho alpha male label and the aesthetic is fake. Exactly. More of them are more of them are butch queens. I hate to say it. The more masculine it look, the more bodied it look, the more our sister it is. I'm convinced. Because that's clearly an obsession with yourself. You in love with yourself, and that's not a bad thing. But the more masculine it looks, the more bodied it look, the more muscular it look. You know how some men take beards to throw off their attraction to other men? Some men literally just amp up their masculine look, their masculine appearance. Some males just make themselves look ultra masculine, ultra male in order to throw you off the scent of wholeness or the scent of femininity or the scent that there may be something else going on. That's why when I be seeing too many muscles, too much body, I'm like, okay. You need to ponder on that length because you're worshiping a tangible man out of fear and having his blood covered over you. You is confusion. Exactly. Yep. It's Teen Titans. I live. So this is the real one, not the cartoon one. I was thinking when men are initiated into the punkyarchy, they have they have to have keys, phalluses, Entering the door, booty. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Creating a fake reality, the matrix, the booty hole, because the booty hole does stimulate, but it only creates waste. And this reality is wasteful. And so anal sex is a ritual, putting the key in the door of waste. Wow. The wastelands. My God is God today, the wastelands. Putting the key in the wastelands. I'm gonna have to pin that. Right, to create the matrix, to create the ponkiarchy. Wow. This is why I am so like this is why I went through that revision. This is why I don't like anal sex. I don't like. I even just started feeling a way about twerking, like turning around and doing the booty dancing. Like I really, literally, even though I know that it is a creation dance, but now I'm asking, what am I creating? I love pussy popping, or I love that. Like I'm from Louisiana. That's the dance that we do culturally. But what am I summoning? What am I creating? But like this is literally like that's the initiation, like putting the key in the door, because the booty hole is a portal, but it is a portal for waste. Now waste can become fertilizer if the body is eating what it should eat, but we don't live in that reality. We don't live like the stuff that's coming out our body ain't fertilizing no plants. Maybe the stuff that our ancestors ate, maybe there was a time when you could get you some booty hole and the waste was so quality and so good that you could literally take the remnants of that waste, put it in the ground, and get things to grow and flourish. But what's coming out them booty holes now? My God is God today. Oh, you had did a word there, Anandia. You better go, baby. You in tune, baby. You getting it. That's why I call you Purple Prodigy, baby. Mm-hmm. They are complete non-playable characters pretending to be real. Not to mention the sheer amount of generational grafted artificial intelligence, aka white folks. And that's that's the other part of unevolved. That's the other part. Like this being has a lot of the Caucasoid DNA and is also predominantly male. Because let's be clear, Caucasian DNA is clearly predominantly male, because if it was not, white females would have been risen up to power. Like white females would have created a matriarchy, just like black women were able to do in their time, just like Nubian um, females were able to do. The reason why Caucasian womb bearers have not been able to recreate a matriarchy during all of this time that the white men have ruled is because that energy predominantly aligns with the undeveloped masculine being. It's all the same thing. And let's be clear, some of these black women are that too. Like the one who just came in my comment section talking about God is a God of order and not confusion. That's the baby running in the woods. Just because you black and you got a womb don't mean you off the hook. Cause some of y'all just looked up and got your melanin recently. You probably ain't never had no melanin in any of your other incarnations. This is probably your first incarnation with melanin. You looked up and got melanin and a vagina and you think you the divine feminine. But in all of your past lives, you've been a Caucasian man, a Caucasian woman, a Asian woman, a Chinese, a Mexican. This your first time getting to be a black woman. Let me tell you something. I know in my soul, I done been a black female countless times. I'm tired of that. I'm sure I've been a white man. I'm sure I've been a white woman. I'm sure I've been some Asians. I'm sure of it. But I know more than anything, because they say your life path number is how many times you've been reincarnated. So my life path number is 3. But I think that this is my 3rd time coming here in this cycle. I think I started another cycle. Like, I think I did the last cycle. I went all the way up to 9 and now I started back over and now I'm at 3 again. Like, I think that this is a whole, like, I done went through 9 cycles and now I'm in the next cycle, and I'm on the 3rd cycle in the second cycle. So I definitely done been a black female being, a female body being a couple of times. But I know I done been a white man. I'm not. I'm sure of it. I connect. I have a connection to that. I done been a white woman. I done been Asian. I definitely feel a connection to that. But I don't think I was them that many times. I think I only needed to see that once. I think I only needed to see that once. I think I only needed to see that once. But I think I did the black woman a couple of times. I definitely think I have. I mean, in this life, I was born male, so child. So the black male experience, I had that in this life. And I mean, artificial intelligence has the opportunity to evolve because it's all connected, but it can evolve until we evolve. One evolution cannot happen without the other. Disembodied spirits, as you mentioned, faceless profiles. Annoying as flies. Teach. Thank you, pessimistic outlaw. That's deep. Thank you. The divine feminine dressed the masculine up and gave him a script so they can fantasize and use him as their own chew toy. Look at my baby. Girl, they is out cold, girl. They is in the spirit world talking to the ancestors right now, girl. Bitch, they is in the spirit world right now, baby. Felines, baby. You know, cats is serpent too. That's and you know this. You know, I'm not ready to be besties with no snake yet, but you know, this is the closest I could get because you know, cats and snakes got the same eyes, and then that's why they got the tails, and that's why their body's so flexible and all that. Look how they curled up. Yeah, girl, they're in the spirit world right now, honey. They in the spirit world, honey. They be interceding for me on the spiritual plane, honey. Baby, they over there probably talking to Godisha right now, giving Godisha a report. Talking about, child, I think Kaneen trying to get it together, Godisha. I don't know. Okay, nursery rhyme scriptures. I stop fables. Exactly. You're free. I can see you are free. How dare you be free? Come back to the baseline and hate yourself like me. T.S. Crustacean Ephesians 101. Not all the time. Majority of the men are in denial, punks, bisexual, and want to transition. And it's a part of the wholeness. Gay men value masculinity. And I understand why gay men value masculinity because masculinity is prized in this reality. And the reason why it is prized is because the divine feminine is warring with itself. So gay men never get a chance to see an example of the divine mother or the divine feminine as whole. They do, however, get a chance to see more of what we call the divine masculine. So I see why it's they've built a whole society, they've built a whole civilization, and so although we hear remnants and echoes of what the divine feminine was, no one has really seen it. It's like a Loch Ness monster. We've heard about it, but we never seen it. It's like a mermaid. We heard about it, but we've never seen it. It's like a unicorn, like a kraken. It's like a dragon. It's like these mystical beasts that we've heard about. The phoenix. We've heard about them, but we've never actually seen them. And so, gay men tend to lean more into what they can see because they are a lot of them are visual. They tend to lean into logic and what they can see, and because the divine feminine is warring with itself, which was how the betrayal was able to happen, which is how the weakness was able to happen, which is how the infiltration was able to happen. The war. And so I don't blame gay men for leaning into what they know. And truth be told, some of them are actually doing a great job of trying to channel that whole divine feminine themselves. I was at a event called Moby Talks, and it centered black gay men. And one I was we they were showing some documentary films, and one of the pieces that they showed was and I mean, like, I struggle with why so many black gay men hold on to the terminology man, and I that's not for me to understand. I am not living my life as a man. I am not, that's not my path, that's not my journey. But I do struggle with why so many of them are eager to hold on to those titles and those labels when they have historically been responsible for so much harm. But there was this one moment in the event where one of the gay men was like, um, I don't feel comfortable being called he anymore. I feel like I should be called they them because it's obvious that I'm more than that. Like, I'm more than he. Like I like Like, I can't deny it any longer. I'm more than he. And for those of you who get it, you get it. But the being was putting on, was taking off their makeup, and like they really just had all of these different ways of expressing themselves and all of these different ways of showing up. And the being was not able to just call themselves he. The being literally was like in the documentary, I have to, like, I want to be referred to as they, them. And that's what I need from people who love me. That's what I need from people who, I resonated with that so deeply. Like, deprogram yourself, free yourself from the box. Don't accept the labels that you're given, because it's not just the patriarch that's trying to trap you. It's literal mammies. It's literal mammies that want you to be their worker bees, that want you to be their purses, that want you to be their sidekick, that want you to always feel like you're beneath them. It's literal mammies. It's literally the bed wenches of the patriarch, and they come in all colors that are going to reduce you because they don't want to see you evolve. They want you to stay mad. They want you to stay childish and angry and pin in your feelings and reduce yourself to a small part of yourself. They want that because they can manipulate that being. That being doesn't require growth on their part. They know how to handle that being. And so when these males, when these black boys heal and they start using other pronouns and they start using other titles and labels and they start defying the binary, that's when we're going to see actual healing. That's why you have the mammy archetype of this matrix rising up, talking about who gonna be the boys. The heifer. The bed wench. Sleeping with that baby. Know how to manipulate him too. Don't want to see them beings evolve. Who gonna be the boys? Oh wow. Gay men value. Oh yeah, I read that. Too much masculine male attention. In the UK, we call them waste men. Oh wow. Wow, you call the ones who go in the booty waste. Oh, okay. What's coming out of this contamination? Camille said, speak. Thank you, Camille. Damn, this live is some supreme higher level type ish OMG. Please be careful with what you say. I'm careful with everything I say. Whatever come out of my mouth, I know what I'm saying. And I don't need you to I don't need you to speak fearfully over me, cuz that's a projection. Maybe be careful when you say certain things, cuz I'm almost 50 years old. I know what I'm saying, and I think about it before I say it. And nothing coming out of my mouth, I'm not willing to stand 10 toes down behind. So maybe if you say it, you be careful. I'm just saying. They don't know how to act when they have melanin. Okay, Hirsch, because people may not understand where she's coming from, and they shouldn't be on the live. They shouldn't be here. If you don't understand, you shouldn't be here. This ain't for you. This ain't for everybody. This ain't for everybody. I'm not fixing to not say it because some people don't understand it. So that means that I'm going to cause people to suffer and cause people to feel like they're alone and to not wake up the people that can be woken up because I have to be cautious of what I'm saying. No, I can't live in fear. I can't let Scarlet be the archetype that rule me. Scarlet have fear and distrust. I can't let Scarlet run me. 333. I get it. I understand. I'm not trying to be no kind of way. Okay, yeah. A lot of these babies is asleep. Ellie, I don't know where you was coming from. I thought you was trying to police and silence, but you good. Gave me and lean into more into hard dick than understanding the spirit. I mean, they got some of them, but so many of them be caught up in they can't transcend that. Even when they spiritual, there's this sort of brainwashing that exists in many of them where it doesn't cross over. It's kind of stagnant in one space. The energy doesn't move to other places and spaces and beings and entities. It kind of just sits in one place. And that would be my concern for a lot of black gay identifying beings and even Caucasians, like all of them, how that spiritual energy is kind of stagnant and they can only see it in other beings that look and act like them. And then if they do see it in a being that doesn't look and act like them, they kind of baby doll or they doll it. Like, this is not to be touched. This is not to connect with. This is just to show off. Hey, I want y'all to see. Look at this. Y'all come see. But when that same energy exists in a male like them, then they feel like, oh, it's so profound. It's so. But then when that energy exists in something that doesn't look like them, they're very much like, hey, y'all, look, come see. Like it's a circus or something. Those titles and labels come with prestige and power. It's so much gay men want to have the best of both worlds, but have a seat reserved at the punkyarchy table, right? They want to be creative on how they perform heteronormity ideals. Because it's so much they get so much at the punkyarchy table. They really do. Baby, the punkyarchy love them, especially if they, handsome and they keep themselves together, they work out and and they gonna pay honor to the mammy, not necessarily the divine mama. See, gay men are it's diabolical how black gay men in particular will raise up mammy archetypes and will shun those aspects of the divine mother that test them. that challenge them. Oh, honey, they will. Mammy is queen. Mammy is mama. Mammy no. Mammy look good. Mammy gonna be dressed. Mammy gonna be together. Mammy gonna look good. Mammy gonna uphold the patriarchy. Mammy gonna praise the good Lord King Jesus. Mammy gonna have on her finest clothes. Mammy gonna look good. Gay men, a lot of them, they love Mammy. See, Gadisha, Nomanda, they don't really fuck with nymph either. You know, a lot of men don't fuck with nymph. The nymph one, that was the first one that I read. They don't fuck with nymph because nymph is too sexually liberated. Nymph is powerful. So they try to shame her. They try to call nymph the hoe. So they'll slut shame nymph. But see, um, Roberta, cause she the rib, she gonna give you a little mammy energy. They also live for Cora, cause Cora gonna give you a little fag hag energy. Cause Cora is in touch, Cora is in tune with their masculinity. So Cora gonna give you a little fag hag energy. So they'll vibe with Cora, they'll vibe with Roberta, because Roberta gonna put them first. Roberta gonna put them ahead of her. Now, if Nymph is in her whole phase and Nymph is making money for them to eat, then yeah, they'll fuck with Nymph. But most likely, Roberta will be the one that they like. They'll like they'll like Cora, because Cora gonna be ambitious. Cora's materialistic, so Cora gonna have nice things. Cora gonna have it together. They can vibe with Cora, a lot of them, and they will vibe with abundance. Because abundance is going to, I'm a mama, you came through me, you came for me. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be here. You only get one. Abundance gonna give you that energy. Because the true thing is, when we are spiritually in tune, we would never say no shit like, you only get one mama or you only get one daddy. We would never, a spiritually in tune person would never say no shit like you only get one. A spiritually awakened person will never say no shit like you only get one mama. A spiritual, this is how you know when a person is asleep, when they say shit like you only get one mama. Because first of all, you can't even say you only get one birther. Because if you've been reincarnated, then you've come via a womb before. And to say you only get one mama, that's not true. You only get one person in each life who you come through. That's the truth. But mothering, guiding, care for, loving, it takes a village. We get all type of aunties and uncles and mamas, and we get all type of different aspects of the divine that show up to guide us and nurture us and love on us through life. So when you hear a person say you only get one, baby, my grandmother was my mama. My mama is my mama. My trans mama is my mama. The girl, it was one girl, she was younger than me, and I used to call her mama. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have survived the streets when I first started doing survival work in the streets. I wouldn't have survived if it wasn't for her teaching me. I wouldn't have known how to survive. I've had several beings to step up and be that role in my life. When I got ready to start doing advocacy, I have my mama Gina who taught me and nurtured me and guided me in that area. When I started coming into my spiritual self and expanding and understanding more about womanhood, I had a being called Mama Sandy who used to, I've had several mother figures. Now, true, there was only one womb that I sat in this incarnation for 9 months, but I've had several mother figures. And I'm thankful for that because it takes a village. I've had several father figures. It truly takes a village if you're trying to bring up something more than a halfling. I'm not gonna read that because people gonna say I'm being messy, and there was a lot of people on this live. I know this live gonna have about 1,000 views, when it probably more. So I ain't gonna say her name on this live because they gonna say I'm being messy, and I don't need no. I don't need that right now. I'm dealing with enough. If she keep my name out her mouth, I'm gonna keep her name out mine for now. Ain't no room for no scary bitches here. Living in fear will cost you in the end. Exactly. 444. I've been getting synchronicities all day. Oh, S child in here. S child in the room. Yay! 100% Pooh. Hey Pooh. We ain't fucking with fear mongering hoes. Yes. The mammy wants her daughters to suffer. Mm-hmm. We real authentic warriors in this bitch. I think men are naturally greedy and feminine. Greedy and feminine presentation is in, and feminine presentation is in right now. So they dip their big toe while still actively participating in patriarchy. You better say that! Woo! You had said that. You had said that. You said that. Want attention, want to be centered, want to be seen. So let me go ahead and use my feminine energy as just use my femininity to prop me up, to make me look like I'm evolved, I'm higher, I'm androgynous. Talk about me, look at me, but I'm still here for the punkyarchy. Don't get it twisted. I am still here to uphold the punkyarchy and I'm going to honor Mammy long as Mammy know. Mammy, we gonna say we love you, Mammy. We gonna give you Mother's Day cards. We gonna give you birthday cards. We gonna buy you gifts. We gonna give you money when you in need. Yeah, you's a trifling bitch indeed. She's a gold digger way out of town. They gonna do what they need to do for Mammy. But Mammy have to understand that Mammy, like Mary J. Blige said in Waiting to Exhale, I was the background to your foreground. Eat the cake anime. Hey man, hey woman. Long as Mammy know, eat the cake. You're the background to the Punky Arky's foreground, and we're gonna take care of you. We're gonna treat you real nice. You use the retired help. You're the retired help. Got you a pension, got you a 401k. Got your pension, got your 401k from the Ponkiarchy. We're going to take care of you. We're going to put you, we got a nice package for you. Lovely party gift. But this is still the Ponkiarchy. Don't get any big ideas. They love they love suckling on mammies. Ooh, come on now. Exactly. Mammy dearest. Know why you suffer endlessly and is truly thick as child. She'll raise she'll raise her violent dust bucket son to find Becky. and strip him of his resources. Girl, you just brought in another layer, S Child. S Child said she will raise her dust bucket son to find Becky and strip him of his resources. You better raise him to go off and marry into a rich Caucasian family so that you could go deeper into the punkyarchy and escape this negritude and escape all of the burdens of this negritude. I know that's right. Nah, baby, they sit up here and tell that lie. She say don't if she can't use the comb, don't bring her home. Shit. Baby, if the family gonna pay off all our loans, go ahead and bring that bitch home. That part of Nadia. No more wire anchors. Mm-hmm. Stripping resources like you strip in a bed of laundry every day. I'm gonna have to rewatch this live. You see mama energy if you search for it. You gotta search for it though these days. Yeah, this is a good live. Now, I'm gonna have to wrap it up though, cause I don't want it to be forever. And this was a good one. I didn't think I was gonna be on here this long. I really thought I was gonna come on here and read that story, but child, the time had flew, girl. We've been on here 2.5 hours. Like this really was a good live. So that's what I'm gonna start trying to do. Like I'm gonna start doing live once a week, even though it'd be hard for me. Like I'm gonna, still put up like my little clip videos and like share my little stories and stuff. But I think I'm gonna start doing lives once a week because I feel like it gives me more time to prepare and to think about what I'm gonna talk about. Versus just doing lives every day. Now, if I'm going through a crisis, bitch, and I need to talk, I'm probably gonna break, lie. It's gonna look like I'm lying, child. If it's something really, really going on, child, I'll be on live tomorrow, bitch. You already know. But but for the most part, I'm gonna try to discipline myself to not do as many lives so that I can do one that's really impactful because I felt like this one was really impactful, and that's what I want. I want more impact. Yes, come on, Purple Hearts. Not Mary J. Blige, LOL. Was your lover and your secretary, okay? The kitty is in the background, paying you no mind. Oh, the niggerosity of it all. Yeah, they up now. Y'all up now. Y'all up from y'all now. You up from your nap. You up from your nap. They up from their nap. Yeah, my babies. They up from their nap. They was getting them a good nap. They had went to go and talk to the ancestors, huh? They had went to go and talk to the ancestors, and then they pop back in, honey. Meow. Let me God, I think I got matches. I think. Hold on, I'm coming right back in. And I've been lighting a lot more vanilla candles, and vanilla was my grandmother's favorite smell. So when I light vanilla candles, I be intentionally trying to connect with my grandmother on a spiritual plane. And I feel like that's where a lot of these downloads have been coming from. They've been coming from my grandmother, like talking to me from the spiritual plane. Because my grandmother was a writer too, so it makes sense that I lit a vanilla candle today, and all of a sudden I wrote that. My grandmother used to love to write stories. My mama write, my grandmother write. I got the writer gene. Like she had three daughters. I was the one that was born male, but I'm the one that's the writer. Cause she had two other daughters, but I'm the one that took after my grandmother because my grandmother wrote, my mama wrote, and I write. So we all wrote stories and poems. And I was the one that got that. My sister, she's smart. She went to college. She got her degree, but she's not the one that liked to write. My baby sister don't like to write, so I was the one you saw it passed down from three generations. And I know that my great grandmother on my mother's side was a storyteller because I remember she told us a story right before she passed away. She told us what the creator looked like, and she said the creator had eyes like fire and hair like a rainbow. She gave the creator a male gender though, and I just think it's because of the religion. Because we see what is around us. So I lit a purple candle for wholeness, and I lit a vanilla candle for protection and also to honor my grandmother. Normally I light three candles, but I'm lighting two candles today. Um, And as I light these candles on the physical plane, representing past, present, and future, the ancestors who have come, the ancestors who will come, and the ancestors who are here, we honor you today. Um, I think they're having the homegoing service for um what's her name? I just said her name earlier this week. They having a homegoing service for. I know she a Libra, and she was in the ballroom scene. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Her name is slipping me right now. Um, yeah, they having her homegoing service today. Yeah, Nicole, thank you. They having her homegoing service today, so as we're lighting these candles, we'll take a moment to acknowledge Nicole's spirit, to acknowledge Nicole's essence, to acknowledge Nicole's being, and to pray that Nicole has had a safe journey to the reality that she was praying to go to. That her wishes are honored, that she is being respected, and that her soul is at peace, and that she is reincarnating in the way that she wants to reincarnate or not. Like if she just want to go on and rest and have peace and take a season to not do nothing. I want for her whatever she wants for herself. Amen, a woman. I feel like we should that's the greatest thing that we could want. As long as what another person wants is not causing you direct harm or is not infringing upon what you want for yourself or what you visualize for yourself, then yes, I want for her, if she wants to rest in peace, if she wants to sleep in peace, then I want that for her. Um, and so, I just want to honor her memory, take a few moments, a moment of silence. As above, so below, as within, so without, as above, so below, as within, so without. As above, so below. As within, so without. As above, so below. As within, so without. Thank you, God Goddess. Thank you, God Goddess. A man, a woman, lay lim, lay lur. As we blow out these candles on the physical plane, they grow with intensity on the spiritual plane, preparing us for times that are now. Down but down that I say cool and keep spinning and turning Iangani Iyanko Kalukalo, which means I am a child of God Goddess. If I am, you know you are. Bound and round, both circle and square. We too speak life, so operations beware. Sending healing to those in despair. El Babosawa, which means we come in peace. No harm to any. Lay lim, lay lur. Remember, you don't have to be filthy rich to stand on business. I am going to be revisiting these archetypes in my talks. I definitely am going to rewrite them so that I could talk about them more clearly, and I am going to develop more so that we could continue to delve into them because this was really when I tell you I have been going through it and I realized I love what you said, Anandia, about the war is within. And this writing helped me to quell the war because a lot of times we want to lash out at other people. We want to be mad at other people. But really, honestly and truly, baby, you got to get right in yourself. It's not always outside of you. It's all the pieces beefing in you because we are multi-dimensional, multi-purpose, multifaceted beings. And so we got to get peace within ourselves before we can model peace for others. Amen, a woman. So I want to thank S Child. I want to thank Fatima. I want to thank 100% Pure Love. I want to thank Anadia for holding down the chat. I want to thank all of the special guests who came on. Kelly, who had said some words. All of the people who had left like little positive comments and was just being encouraging. Some of the first time people who've come on, like I don't know if I've seen Camille Cherry on here before, but thank you so much for coming on today. I really enjoyed y'all. Thank you um pes pessimistic outlaw. Yes, thank you for coming on. Thank all of y'all. I appreciated y'all. I love y'all, and I'll probably be like doing some little taking some little clips from this for my feedback during the week, or just like redoing them again with a different look and just repeating it with a different outfit on, like if I don't feel like using it from this, I'll just redo it. But you know, we'll be eating off of this all week basically. We gonna be eating leftovers basically. All right, I love y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good one. Take care. Blessings. Wholeness.